What up, what up, what up? You know who I is. I am Sonny D.
And I'm Captain J. And we're the pot smoking moms.
Hey, we're so glad you're here. We're here. We're having a blast already. If you're having a blast too, please rate, subscribe, share, and be friends with us on all social media. Potsmokingmoms.com is the URL. Now over to you, Captain J.
Hey, this is a very special episode, guys, because I don't know why we decided to eat what, like 0.6?
0.6
A little
mushroom.
more than 0.6 of shrooms. So,
estamos sabrosa. We're ready to, we're celebrating our 150th show.
So, yeah, we're like,
by throwing some mushies down the
happy,
hatch.
a little extra happy.
Good. We needed it. It's been a really long week.
Yeah.
We needed it.
With that, I guess we're going to get happier.
Perimenopause is not easy, guys. But guess what?
Smoke sesh time.
I am smoking again, apparently, the same thing I was smoking last week, which is fine. Because the thing is when you find certain strains,
it works
at
for
least
you.
You can depend on the consistency of that. Because sometimes, like, you try new strains, you can't smell it here before you buy it. And that's fucking annoying.
Oh, and Jesse's reminding us it's our 150th
right,
episode.
But back to it being 150th episode.
We had it after the smoke sesh, but it is our 150th episode, by the way, guys.
And we thank you for making that happen.
And if you've been here since the beginning, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
And if you're just joining us, welcome.
We have someone who's throwing down in the comments. We're like, oh, say something about the episode. Someone keeps dropping, like, saying stuff.
Yes, thank you very much.
And they're now in Broward, and
she's
we
the one that
you.
Says that she missed the sound effects. I'm pretty sure it was her.
Today we're gonna be throwing sound effects.
There's gonna be so many sound effects
just for you. I'm having a pineapple upside down cake. Did you say what you're having?
No, I never said it. I have a diesel dough from Modern Flour.
Nice. So if you got them at home, we invite you to light it up. I'm smoking out of a new contraption.
I'm only smoking a very little bit because
some Tito hair.
Mushrooms be mushrooming.
I'm gonna try to take one hit out of this new little discreet plain Jane pipe here.
I think that's good for now. I gotta read, y'all.
Ah, look at that.
This is also, it's our 150th episode, but we decided to make this a News Nugs special episode. So we're just going to be doing News Nugs and a little bit of screen time later.
Yeah.
Because we have 4 stories for News Nugs later.
We got some really good stories too, man. Really good stories.
But before that, let's do some more catching up.
Yeah,
summer's things going on this week, T?
Oh, too many things. I gotta follow up with my doctor about my hormones.
I have to go to the doctor.
Yeah, do it. And for those of you at home who are putting it off, please just to call them right now.
Take care of yourself.
Put the podcast on pause. Because I know what it's like. You do too much for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You're booking your kids' appointments. You're, making sure your husband goes to his. And then we're like put off doing everything for us. So please go do that. I finally got my blood test results back. Went to go see the doctor. I had hit you guys up the same day I'm pre-diabetic, which is like, look, back when I was pregnant with my last kid, my sugar levels and my blood work showed that too. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I'm hitting the fucking sour gummies over here, getting cravings and shit. But like, yeah, I know I got to change my habits. Mm-hmm. I know some of them are out of control. Like, I'm not super out of control, but like, getting older, you gotta even kind of scale back a little bit more because your body's holding on to shit longer, like calories and shit.
You're saying this like I think I've only had sugar today.
Yeah,
I haven't even had a proper.
You know what? And sometimes like I feel like when
you're doing shit, you forget to eat, or you're too busy to eat, and it takes time to prepare yourself something to eat.
Right.
Figure out what you're gonna eat.
Exactly. So when you're eating on the go,
I'm like, let me just take a snack instead. Exactly. And it's not the best kind of snack. So exactly. It's about stocking your house with good snacks
and being mindful and maybe like planning it, which is, in the territory that I'm headed, because my doctor was like, oh, Ozempic, Mounjaro. And like, while these are all things that can help you, you need to be able to sustain it. It's not something that's going to just
But
take
changing your
care of
eating
it.
habits is much more important than
Right.
just taking some kind of drug to help.
Right, exactly.
Like-
So, and but ultimately at the end of the day, you have to have some sort of habits after you take that, because yeah, you're gonna lose weight, but you're also gonna look like a flapping sack of flesh if you don't do something.
I forgot Jen was here.
We have an audience member
Wait.
too here in live.
I just saw
She just saw her hand.
Just saw a hand.
She's
Can I
hanging
get a
out.
cup and drink? And I'm like, what just happened over there?
The ghost.
Because I can't see her. She's behind
Yeah.
the screen right now.
She was in here earlier, but now I could see her more on my side. Probably why it freaked you out a little bit, because I can't have her here in whole eye shot.
You can see her. Okay. I see nothing.
But anyways, we're like older. We need to get healthier habits. So, I told her that I do need to work on it. So I would rather plan and work and try to do something and figure out a strategy prior to like taking those drugs. Because granted, yes, those are there to help you. And I don't, I don't shame anybody for using them when they need it. But at the same time, I know myself. And I need to do the work and figure out a way to get things going for myself in that direction before I start taking that. But like, yeah, seeing the system right there before your eyes. You eat all the junk food that they shove down your face. And then now you have to take all the drugs that they want you to take. And I kind of want to try to do things on my own before I go that route. But like, we're getting older and we're like feeling... and I was telling somebody the other day too, like, oh, you're pregnant, your body changes, takes you a long time to adapt after the kids are here.
Yeah.
People said like, it takes you like 5 to 7 years for you to really snap back.
And imagine getting pregnant at 40 instead of 30.
And that's the thing too,
or late 20s,
right?
early 30s.
A lot of us waited a while to have kids. A lot of us, because all of our friends, look, I love having the community that we have, because our kids get to like have built-in friends, right? But two, we don't get to snap back to where we were before we had kids, because now this is the other part of our life now. So we're doing the perimenopause shit. And it's crazy, right? Because nobody has ever really said anything to prepare us. It's like, why are we in the dark about this? But anyways, that's fun. Hormones, and then just feeling overwhelmed by everything, right? Because like I had just finished doing the kids party, which was great. We pulled that off.
It was so cute,
and it was nice. And like now we know we have a place we can throw parties at.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's like a lot of work to throw a kids party. I was putting it off, girl, because I'm like, oh, it's the summer.
Yeah,
they both have... I'm not gonna throw...
It's smart to do two
in one.
Yeah, just have one party for both of them,
right,
than doing two separate parties.
Yeah, but it's still like a lot. Kids parties are a lot of fucking work, man. So, but that was fun. They had fun. I owed it to them to do it. But now, like the aftermath, like I just feel so overwhelmed with everything. But like, you know what?
And now we're gonna plan a pool party,
which is right. Things to look forward to. That's why we're like, it's 150th episode. The mushrooms are doing their thing right now. Because this past week, like, let me tell you, we have an audience member today, but Jenny's my neighbor, and she was tapping into me yesterday. She was like, girl, are you okay? I need to get out of here. And I'm like, yeah, I need to get out of here too. Like, as a matter of fact, I'm getting out of here tomorrow. Want to come with me? Man, because too, you work at home, and it's just like, oh, it's never ending, bro. It's the same thing. Laundry, dishes, wash my kids' asses, laundry, dishes, make dinner. Like, oh my God, it's too much shit. And then too, like, summer's almost over. Thank God, because like double duty over here and shit. Like, I'm working and working. I'm running my own summer camp and shit in the backgrounds. So getting out of the house and coming to record is great. And then pool party.
And then they're like, fuck it, let's eat shrooms.
Fuck it, let's eat shrooms.
I mean, while we're at it, like, let's just go. Let's go. We're fucking going.
I mean, it's not a lot. It was like, 0.6. Not too bad.
Just to have a good time.
Just a little mood enhancer, y'all.
You know, it's been a long week. We owe it to ourselves.
Anyway, so we're planning a pool party coming in September. We're looking for September 14th. So keep your eyes peeled for that when we officially announce it on our social medias and start doing tickets and stuff. But we're doing all the research right now, trying to secure the correct location, trying to secure what we're going to be doing there. We have a lot of great ideas.
Yeah, it's not a lot of us.
No, I would say maybe like the tickets wouldn't be no more than 20 people. 20, 30,
Nice.
yeah, 20
Intimate.
people max. Keep it intimate, little affair.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Good time. Coming soon.
Yeah, and that means, hey, patrons, you get dibs on these kinds of things.
You always find out about it first.
If we get free tickets to shit, we make sure we get some for you. If we're able to secure some discounts, we throw them your way. Because we thank you, patrons, for being there all the time, just hanging out and, popping in our Discord sessions. If you're interested in building community and
Go and check
having
out
a place to be a pot smoking mom, come over to our Patreon page.
potsmokingmoms.com, become a patron, and you become part of our Discord channel. Like she said, you hear about things first. But if you can't contribute, that's fine. Really easy way to support us is just sharing our stuff. Taking the time to like, comment, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Really helps us out.
And even you just being here listening to it, we love it. Thank you for your ears.
Even if you can't listen to it, the whole way through, just let it play.
Save it. Come back.
Just let it play.
Let it play. Let it play.
Let it play. And they should be watching us on YouTube right now, right?
Yeah, because there's all these special effects. Like this shirt I'm wearing.
That shirt
Apparently
fucked
everybody up today because it's all weird and
I told her we need to do our own version of that shirt because I love it. I love the effect. It's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
It looks trippy.
Hey, we got a couple of really good news nugs coming your way.
News Nugs, where we get high and read the news to you.
Yo, did you see this one? Did you catch this one?
Well, Snoop Dogg launches his first marijuana dispensary along with a new line of cannabis products honoring Tupac. I read this story already, and there was something that I read that I thought was really interesting, and I did not know it before. So Snoop Dogg is taking his marijuana legacy to the next level by opening his first licensed dispensary and launching a line of cannabis products to pay tribute to the rapper Tupac. Snoop's name is effectively synonymous with marijuana as the artist
on the lighting the torch.
Yeah.
Shit looking like a joint. Come on.
Yeah. Snoop's name is effectively synonymous with marijuana as an artist has made cannabis culture a hallmark of his personal and professional brand for decades. Now he's making his debut in California's legal industry with the launch of the Los Angeles-based retailer SWED, which stands for
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah.
Smoke weed every day. The dispensary features various nods to Snoop's career under the record label Death Row Records, which he took over in 2022. For example, there's a smoke-proof DJ booth where Snoop can smoke and spin music, memorabilia associated with the label, and graffiti quotes from the artists. One of the other unique features of the Los Angeles dispensary is catered selections of marijuana offerings, which include a new line of limited edition products from Snoop's Death Row Records cannabis brand. That product line honors Tupac Shakur, or Tupac, an iconic artist who Snoop befriended before he was killed in the shooting in 1997. It was Tupac who gifted Snoop his first blunt.
Really?
That I did not know until
Tupac
I read this
was
story.
the first person to give Snoop a blunt?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's really cool to learn. I was like, that was like when
No
I
wonder
learned that
he-
Bob Dylan is the one that turned on the Beatles to smoking weed.
Oh,
Like,
I didn't know that either.
You didn't know that
Isn't
the-
there a movie for Bob Dylan coming up too soon? I think
Oh,
Robert
that I
told
don't
me
know.
Timothy Chalamet is going to be playing Bob Dylan.
No. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, but this is
That sounds
interesting
awesome.
news. Yeah, right? Yeah, I thought it was like, oh, he would be a good one.
I was like, when I read that, I was like, what? That was like at the
That's
same level
cute.
to me. I was like, what? Tupac was the one that gave. I'm just surprised. I thought by then, like when they met, they were
They were
probably
already-
both already. Well, obviously
Yeah, how
Tupac
young
was.
were they when
But
they met?
I know Snoop was really young when
Yeah.
he started with the label.
Mhm.
He was like 19.
Right.
I don't know. So, first blunt sparked a friendship that ran deep. Snoop said in his press release, "We'll always have his music, but this is another way I can bring what was meaningful to Tupac and to his fans."
Oh, this isn't the artist's first foray into the cannabis industry. He also launched different marijuana brands called Leafs by Snoop in Colorado in 2015. Snoop's marijuana legacy runs deep as late night TV host Jimmy Kimmel recognized him last year when he declared the artist's birthday, October 20, the new high holiday of Dog Father's
Yeah,
Day.
that was funny.
While he might be best known as prolific consumer, Snoop also has advocated for reform, which includes calling for a policy change at the NBA so that players could freely use cannabis on and off the court, or off the court, on and the court. Can you imagine them smoking blunts on it shooting around? He said last year that he supported the reform based on the medical side of it, the health benefits, and how it could actually help ease the opioids and all the pills that they've been given and the injections. Snoop has long been pushing athletics organizations to adopt lenient marijuana policies, often emphasizing that point that cannabis could serve as a less addictive and dangerous alternative to prescription opioids. The artist, who once estimated that he smokes 81 blunts per day, god damn.
81 per day.
You know what?
Like, there's 24
Look,
hours in a day. How many blunts is that?
yeah, that's like how you'd have to constantly be smoked. Like you would not be able
What?
to like not be smoking. You'd be taking a dump and smoking.
Does he not
You'd be
sleep?
taking a shower and
Like,
smoking. I remember Wiz
12
Khalifa,
hours in a day.
Wiz Khalifa said once that he like wakes up in the middle of the night to smoke weed, and I'm like, yeah, man,
That's about
bro.
6 blunts an hour if you're doing 12-hour days.
That's insane.
not even considering the night.
That's pretty crazy. but also, you know, when I was pregnant and I would like I wanted like a sandwich or a hot dog or something, I would say, Courtney Love did heroin.
Oh my god.
I mean, Snoop Dogg smokes 81 blunts a day. When I feel guilty about going in for another bowl in the day, I'm gonna go like, Snoop Dogg smokes 81 blunts a day. Just to give me that fucking room to be like, I can smoke another bowl before I go back in for work. 81 blunts a day?
Ooh.
That's like Olympic smoking. I think those numbers are a little bit off.
Olympic smoking. Speaking of Olympic, you mentioned during
Yeah, he did the opening ceremonies, right?
Bro, it would have been so great if he could have like lit up off that torch.
I know.
He just pulls a blunt out and lights it off the torch.
Like he did, wasn't he smoking when he was singing the Super Bowl on the Super Bowl?
In the Super Bowl show, he was definitely smoking while
Hell
he was
yeah.
doing the
Can you
Super Bowl
imagine
show.
the fucking, was it in Paris? That's where the Olympics are.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I guess he
imagine
doesn't
him?
want to risk
I mean, you don't know. Wiz Khalifa, wasn't he put in jail for smoking in
on
Germany?
stage. Was it in Germany?
Was it Germany?
I don't remember where it was, but I saw that he was like abroad somewhere and he got arrested for smoking on stage. And I was like, what? That's insane. Know where you're at.
This next story, you want me to? You have me
Yes.
starting any stories?
Yes, go for it. You be yellow.
Legalizing medical marijuana has positive impact on child development by increasing parenting time, study finds. As if we didn't fucking know this already. A new study suggests that access to medicinal marijuana may increase the amount of parenting that people engage in by improving patients' health. Medical marijuana legalization reduces inactive time and increases sleep, consistent with medical marijuana's health benefits, the report published this month in the Journal of Applied Economics says. Our results suggest that MML can have significant positive impact on the development of children via increased parenting time. Yeah, you always get the sudden urge to like eat snacks afterwards or like play video games with your kids or play pretend. I play pretend with my kids all the time. The study concludes, especially to those under the age of 6, a period characterized by high long-run returns to parental investment. The big caveat in the findings, researchers noted, is that the benefits apply only if parents do not misuse cannabis, noting bigger increases in parenting time for those less likely to abuse marijuana.
I wonder what they consider misusing or abusing marijuana.
I wonder if 81 blunts a
Do
day
they consider smoking
falls
weed
into that factor.
every day, all day?
Yeah,
like
right.
that, because like, what is it?
Yeah, and what kind of study could you even do for that? You know what I mean? Anyways, marijuana can provide medical benefits for those suffering from chronic pain, sleep disorder, depression, and PTSD, allowing parents to better interact with their children, the report says, though it adds that positive effects are not guaranteed.
The new study was co-authored by Cynthia Bonsack of the St. Lawrence University Economics Department and Jun
Oh man, what is all this?
Oh my god.
Jun
wanna-
Hyung Kim of the School of Digital Humanities
I just
and
am having trouble reading
Computational
period
Social
right now.
Sciences at South Korea's Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. That's a lot to say in one breath.
Both authors also represent the Institute of Labor Economics in Bonn, Germany, and the Global Labor Organization in Essen, Germany. Okay, so we show that legalizing medical marijuana increases parenting time with children. They wrote the increases are significant on active childcare activities that require less effort of the parents, such as playing with the child. And passive childcare in which parents watch over the children while engaged. I'm just having trouble reading.
Oh, okay. Want to read? Looking at, well, that's kind of, it's also kind of all lumped together there. Looking at and there's a bunch of big words here. Looking at heterogeneous effects, the effects are greater for those who are most likely to benefit from the medical use of marijuana and for subsamples with larger baseline parenting time, such as parents who have younger children than 6. Our lives are just falling apart. The treatment effects correspond to 8%. I had posted a meme that was like, well, what's it like to be taking care of toddlers? And it's like, well, imagine a world where silence was illegal and sitting down was illegal. Like, you can't do any of that shit.
Oh my God.
The treatment effects correspond to 8% to 12% of the gap in parental time on childcare between parents with some college education and parents with less than college education. Wow, they be getting specific. Science. I'll continue. Active child care, the study explains, includes the time that parents actively looked after kids, played with them, or planned for their activities.
Oh my God.
It also
You
includes
can't really
activities.
track all the planning you do for a kid.
Yeah, I mean, right. You know.
Because that's like all the time.
It also includes schooling activities and medical care. Passive child care, meanwhile, refers to time parents spend primarily engaged in other activities while being in the presence of the child. Screen time. I mean, and it's like not fair. Something I see a lot of like stuff out there shaming screen time, and it's like, it's a privilege. I get it. It's a privilege to have the screens, but it's also a privilege to have like additional help so that you don't have to use the screen time. But then again, how much screen time are we having? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's be realistic, guys.
Like, how often are you looking at a little screen?
Right. A lot of times you guys are watching movies and on your cell phones too. So like 80 screens at the same time. Go to a bar. There's like 50 million screens everywhere for adults, not children. All right. So there's a lot of more data and statistics going into this, but it's interesting. We're showing that legalizing medical marijuana increases an increase by 4 minutes of active childcare, represents a 12.56% of the active childcare time gap by parents' education level. I don't know.
An increase of 10 minutes of passive childcare represents. They're just using very
specific
weird terms to describe it.
Right. Well, what they're referring to is like, okay, there's a difference in childcare when you're actively participating in whatever activity the kids are doing versus they're doing the activity and you're doing another activity, but you're like watching them because you're in the same room. Like when your kids are playing blocks and you're, scrolling on your TikToks. Like that's
or
different than when you're down on the ground with them doing the blocks or
playing with them.
So it's interesting, but we've always been talking about this. Like, why does marijuana make us better parents? It's because it helps us chill out. It helps us relax.
It helps us like turn off all the noise of everything else.
Right. All the other things that are,
and enjoy the moment.
Right. And let them be kids too, because we do get overwhelmed with stuff, even with noises and shit like that. And it's just like sometimes you have to really sit there and decipher, like, is it like noises that are just kid noises and they're having a good time and being children? Or is it just, also got to look at it that way too.
So for our next story, we have nearly 43,000 people commented on the DEA reclassifying cannabis. What did they say?
And we talked about this last time, right? Everybody, there's a commenting period open.
Yeah, it's closed.
Oh, closed now.
Yeah.
But
So
it was
now
open.
they're analyzing all the comments now.
Uh-huh.
So it showed that 56% of the commenters wanted
59%.
Oh, what did I say?
56. I mean,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
transposing that
I
nine.
got it side
Alright.
upside down. 59% of commentators wanted the proposed rule to go further and for marijuana to be decriminalized. I mean, I think that's what everybody would want. I'm surprised that number is not higher than 59%. If these 43,000 comments, they took the time to come and like actually comment during this comment period and come and leave the thing, I feel like most of those people are probably advocates for the plant.
Right.
I don't know. So the 2-month public comment period for the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration proposed rules to reschedule cannabis closed this week, and the agency will not review the submissions. Will now review the submissions. I said not. It's really reading on shrooms is not easy, guys. Okay.
Well,
I'm usually
say-
outside looking
we'll
at
take
trees
note
and
for
the
next
sky.
time.
Okay.
Fuck it, let's eat shrooms.
Not looking at a screen.
You know.
Every time I do shrooms, my phone becomes like the last thing I want to look at.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're
And now we're okay.
watching the deers
And I'm just seeing
while your friends are
highlighted.
the trails. Really? Is that what we're doing?
No.
Oh,
No.
the
I
the
just
words are
realized you were
dancing.
talking about the last time
The
we did
deer.
shrooms,
Yeah.
The deer.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so nearly 43,000 citizens, organizations, and researchers submitted comments. The most the DEA has
The DEA
ever
was like,
received
whoa,
over
whoa,
a
whoa,
proposed rule
guys.
change. So people are very enthusiastic
I mean,
about weed.
we have been fighting for this shit for a long time. People are waiting to say some shit.
The volume of responses showed how motivated Americans are to speak on this issue, said Cat Packer. Cat Packer.
Sorry.
Why is that so
Well, their names are always so like, okay, Cat Packer. Is that a real name?
She's the director of drug markets and and legal regulation of the Drug Policy Alliance. This is an unprecedented opportunity that folks have had to participate in public comment on the topic of federal marijuana scheduling or the legal status of marijuana at the federal level.
Commenters use the opportunity not only to share views on the policy in question, but to share their beliefs and experiences about cannabis and legalization, as we always do, in general. Some shared fears that rescheduling cannabis could be harmful to children or that it's a gateway drug. Many commenters describe positive experiences with cannabis, including as a way to treat seizures, anxiety, and autism symptoms. Preliminary analysis show most commenters felt rescheduling was not enough and wanted more significant steps toward federal legalization. The DEA's proposed rules would reclassify cannabis from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 substance, meaning that cannabis' status will change from illegal, you're going too fast. That cannabis status will change from an illegal narcotic on the federal level to a medication that is eligible for FDA approval, but still federally illegal in most circumstances. Still, Packer said rescheduling doesn't address the conflict between federal laws and state laws. And significantly for the communities that we serve, rescheduling marijuana does nothing to acknowledge or address the racist origins of marijuana criminalization or its resulting racial disparities. Most of the comments reflect Packer's view. She noted that the Drug Policy Alliance used keyword searches to rapidly analyze the 43,000 comments and determine how many favored more significant steps toward legalization. They searched for keywords and phrases like decriminalized, treated like alcohol, and full legalization. The result was 59% of commenters wanted cannabis to be decriminalized or completely descheduled, meaning it would share its legal status with alcohol and cigarettes. Have they not seen our feed? Have they not seen our social media feed? For real, we're just like, why do people get to go to the store and buy alcohol willy-nilly? Doesn't matter how. Nobody's ever questioning how much alcohol someone's purchasing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, why are we
Or you can buy cartons and cartons of cigarettes.
cigarettes? Right.
You should keep reading.
Headset. What? Headset, a cannabis data platform, also conducted a rapid analysis of the comments using the latest version of OpenAI's large language model, according to its CEO, by Cy Scott. See, what is that name? Cy Scott, CY?
That's his name, Cy Scott.
Cy Scott.
Wow.
Right. All these names are fake.
They're
made
AI
up.
names.
They're AI.
They said
names.
open AI's large.
The AI, they would only, the open AI guy whose name's AI. The AI would summarize each comment and then determine its position. The analysis yielded similar results. 57% of commenters supported descheduling cannabis. How you hanging in there, Jenny? You doing good?
I was just wondering.
While 35%, I just said what you were thinking. While 35% scheduling, rescheduling, and 8% wanted to remain an illegal Schedule 1 substance.
What?
These numbers roughly align
Those are the people
with
that see the time.
Pew Research, which has always been a funny word, showing that 57% of Americans think cannabis should be legal for medical and recreational purposes, while 32% think it should be legal for medical use only. Scott said the AI analysis provided other insights. For example, comments from those opposed to medical cannabis tended to come in large spikes in form of letters, while comments from those who supported different types of cannabis legalization seemed to flow in more organically. Come on, guys. Packer said that commenters might be responding in part to Biden's past statements on cannabis legalization. Also, yeah, what are they just scouring the internet trying to see who said what?
This is the comments on the
right, but yeah. During his 2020 campaign, he promised to decriminalize marijuana. Promises. Despite the fact that President Biden has repeatedly said that no one should be in jail for marijuana possession, he don't do shit about it. This rescheduling decision does nothing to end marijuana arrests or prevent folks from actually going to jail for marijuana, she said. Something we've been shouting from the rooftops.
Exactly. Like, what's the point?
What happens next is unclear, partly because the DEA is in uncharted territory with this process. In a perfect world, they'd say, since they have 60% of respondents who want marijuana to be legal, it's legal for most people under state law already. Let's just deschedule it.
Yes.
But I recognize the reality that that's not very likely, said Aaron Smith, a normal fucking name, co-founder and CEO of the National Cannabis Industry Association. Finally, someone with a normal name. Smith still saw, I wish I could see their haircuts too.
What?
Smith still saw rescheduling as a sign of progress and was hopeful that it would go through by the end of the year. Packer was way less optimistic, saying that there are lots of different ways to think that this process can be slowly delayed and not happen before the election, and also could be potentially not happen before the end of President Biden's term, which again, we're always like, oh, they're talking all about this right before, campaign season. The DEA could decide to hold a public hearing. She's just checked out of the story completely already. On rescheduling, which would slow down the process, or there could be legal. Jesse could just put my face in the middle of the screen now. And you could put Jay's little face bubble. Just put her off to the side over here.
It should be in space.
Yeah. You could put her little bubble in the outer space. And I'm just like, in the middle. The Packer was less optimistic. Oh, we've ever said that. I already covered that. The DA could decide to hold a public hearing on rescheduling, which would slow down the process, or there could be legal challenges to rescheduling. And even if rescheduling does go through, Packer said, federal criminalization of cannabis would continue to have a negative impact. This means that for the next decade or plus, because who knows how long we'll be dealing with this policy, medical patients, adult consumers, she just like, wow, she's saying this like she's talking. It's not like she's reading. Again, her bubbles in outer space. Adult consumers, state medical marijuana program, the adult use programs, the businesses that participate in these programs, the employees, right? The employees that are employed by those businesses, all of these folks are still in illegal activity, subject to collateral consequences and really burdened by the federal criminalization, Packer added. Smith wondered on how DEA would process how few commenters actually supported rescheduling if the agency actually goes through with rescheduling.
All right. So for our last story, but definitely I think a very important one, is why sustainability eludes the cannabis industry and what entrepreneurs can do about it. So cannabis has a sustainability problem. This news may come as a surprise to you. Cannabis and hemp have been sold by advocates like me as a green crop producing green products. While the fundamental statement is true, public policy mistakes and market conditions have led to polluted outcomes on par with the coal industry. When a pound of indoor dried cannabis flower has larger carbon footprint than the longest round trip commercial airline flights in the world,
Wow.
something feels wrong with that picture. Something is wrong with that picture. It begs to pardon the question why. There are a lot of pain points in the cannabis space, from packaging to certain cultivation methods, said journalist Kara Wheatstock at Green State. But fixes are going to be complicated and multi-pronged. She has written extensively on cannabis and sustainability.
Look at cultivation. Growing indoors in states with heavy winter snow takes a lot of energy, Wheatstock said. The most logical fix would be to have a farm in an ideal locale like Northern California, wholesale cannabis to other states. Unfortunately, this would require multiple policy changes that would take years. My view is that there's a lot of work to be done, and the more barriers than doorways. While other factors like pesticides, water use, packaging, transportation, and land use play a part in the sustainability of cannabis, growing weed indoors is the primary driver of carbon emissions.
Mhm.
Sun-grown farmers in California have been practicing sustainable cannabis cultivation for decades, as chronicled in the author Doug Fine's 2012 book, Too High to Fail. Ever since I began my research into regenerative cannabis in California's Emerald Triangle in 2011 for my book, said Fine, I've strongly believed that healthy cannabis cultivated outdoors in a manner akin to organic produce is a win-win model. A lot has happened to cannabis cultivation since Too High to Fail was published. Legalization has swept across the nation with it. A lot of indoor cultivation. The reason most legal weed is grown indoors is due to the public policy requiring it, or zoning and other regulations that mandate it. Elected officials and their regulators feel safer if their communities cannot see or smell cannabis cultivation. We had a story in the back in the day when we first started the podcast about
Even when
a
it's indoor, you can
homestead.
still smell it.
Yeah.
If you're, it's a lot.
In many cases, those communities agree and demand cultivation happen indoors. In these communities, the environmental impacts are not as strong as the stigma that weed is bad and needs to be hidden away.
Yeah, like they should just allow for outdoor grow. It would make such a big difference. So federal prohibition does not allow the state level legal supply chain to engage in an interstate commerce. That means high quality outdoor California marijuana cannot be transported and sold in New York, except in the underground market. We all know that. And in the post legalization reality that hurts the craft farmer and the best by eliminating their market for weed in the East. Even in California, sun grown craft farmers cannot sell directly to consumers. The regulations don't allow it. They have to go through a licensed distributor or become a distributor themselves, not a farmer's core competency.
Mhm.
This does not incentivize outdoor farmers to plant more, but strangles them by cutting them off from their fans and best consumers. Market conditions also play a role, as some consumers demand indoor grown weed, thinking it's better weed. Not entirely true. When policy and market conditions align with that, entrepreneurs don't have much choice but to build indoor grows. As more jurisdictions legalize cannabis, this pattern is repeating itself over and over. Before anyone notices, the electrical grid is taxed, more fossil fuels are being burned, and the problem just gets worse and harder to fix. Some companies are seeing the writing on the wall and taking action to get more green. When I recently toured the indoor but regenerative snow till cannabis farm in San Francisco, there were no inputs used at all, no nutrients other than worm poop and compost, and no pesticides. This reduces the carbon footprint of the farm significantly. They're also in a mild climate that does not require much power to grow indoors. While cultivating regeneratively indoors takes skill and practice, small farms like Snowtill are proving it to be done. Stoners seem to agree as the brand is flying off the shelves at California dispensaries.
Oh.
Hmm.
Regenerative cannabis can win in the marketplace, just like craft beer will soon overtake mass market beer, said Fine. He absolutely believes that craft cannabis can be the dominant choice for consumers over time. Think organic and fair trade. As a regenerative hemp polyculture farmer myself, I want to know who my farmer is, whether it's for tomatoes, hemp, or ganja. Where I live in New Mexico, our hemp and cannabis farmers do provide the harvest at farmers markets. We always talk about like people in our friends in Canada who grow their own shit and then get together and like trade.
Mm-hmm.
Like how beautiful is that?
Yeah.
The state of New Mexico learned from places like California to give farmers direct access to consumers. This will help the land of enchantment put more craft cannabis on dispensary shelves or farmers markets and contribute to a more sustainable industry. On the other end of the supply chain, another company putting serious resources into becoming more sustainable is PAX. Oh God, here we come with the HR. I mean, PR. PAX is one of the world's largest manufacturers of vape pen hardware and accessories. Their sales are in the millions of units, so they're able to scale their green initiatives.
Yeah, that's the
Once,
thing. Big companies have to.
I mean, because they run the market too. Apparently, they can't pay creators though, only in product. Scott Collins, Senior Director of Product and Design, focused on two areas he's pushing sustainability forward. Scroll down, but I feel like, is this now like an article for PAX? At
No.
PAX, our ethos is durability over disposability, and we're integrating sustainability into our design philosophy to create long lasting products, said Collins. Our cutting edge heating technology in all devices prolongs the life of cannabis products. See, this is why I'm like thinking this is starting to be very. We do agree that there are a lot of sustainability issues, even with the packaging. Like, how many plastic containers do you
Mhm.
have of, whoever? Insert local dispensary here, but like, it's true. So many, it's buildup. I feel like I could just go with my little jar and be like, "Hey, can I just smell what you got?" and then like weigh it out and put it in my jar.
Collins was clear that public policy has to play a role in greening the industry. Crucial to our strategy is the push for regulatory reforms to reduce unnecessary packaging, aligning our practices with those of established industries to decrease packaging waste, he said. For those consumers like myself who struggle to open child resistant and other cannabis packaging, reducing some of that would work wonders for our fingers and our planet.
For all of this to work at scale, consumers have to demand sustainability. We were talking about just going into your dispensary and telling them, "Hey,
Yay. This makes me uncomfortable.
right."
See
And
what they
I
say.
doesn't it deters me from coming back.
Yeah. To buying more of the product. You want to keep buying more plastic.
Right. I'm buying the product, not the plastic,
But you get it.
Right. Consumer education is critical for the greening of the cannabis industry. Farmers like Fine are doing that with the power of storytelling. In my work, I emphasize making consistent sustainability decisions in as many facets of life as possible, said Fine. My new film, American Hemp Farmer, follows three digital age farming families for a year as they attempt to grow a healthy crop and business while fighting climate change. All three families are dedicated to sustainable values. I decided to make this film, by the way, after a wildfire nearly turned my family and goats into
Oh my.
refugees.
They almost lost their
Well,
home.
also too, yeah, I mean, you do take a lot more risks when you grow outdoors than when
Mhm.
you do indoor grow. But
Mhm.
it's like the change, right? Like the inverse of what you're putting out and how it affects the environment versus like trying to find a way to do it where you're still making money, you're still being able to get your crop out.
Mhm.
You know, because a lot of times indoor, they do indoor because out you can never really tell what's going to happen outdoors. As America tries to survive another hot summer of wildfires and hurricanes,
Yep.
the urgency to green up all industries will get stronger.
Yep.
Against this dystopian backdrop, the cannabis industry works to get federally legal and sustainable at the same time. Not an easy task, and yet the planet cannot afford to give birth to another unsustainable billion-dollar industry.
Mhm.
If elected officials, regulators, and the cannabis industry do not get it together, that's exactly what the industry will become.
Yep.
So that's all things we have to talk about now. I mean, look, we've got.
I would prefer to just, go to a dispensary. They have mason jars of weed. You bring your own stash jar and you're just like, I want an eighth. They weigh out an eighth and you
they-
use your own container to
right,
take it away
they
with
dump
you.
it in your shit and you leave.
And just the indoor grows is another thing. Like I think people would like to have more outdoor products as available to them, but it's like they said, the regulations don't really allow it because of
exactly
the
all
smell
the
and
hoops
all
you
that.
have to jump too,
Mhm.
and all of that. But you know what? The more we talk about it, the more we'll figure out ways. We always talk about how when we went to Colorado, we really love a lot of the things that the Colorado market has. Like smelling it before you buy it,
Yeah.
and being able to, have it.
Yeah, here
put it in
everything's
your own jar.
packaged and you have no
Yeah.
idea what it smells like or anything until you get
Or
home
what it
and open
looks
it.
like
Yeah.
too, and then you open it and it's like either like, oh yay, or
Oh.
oh. Hey guys, you should be watching us on YouTube right now. If you're not, go over there and check us out. We don't have I Love You Miami this week because we had so many news nugs and so many mushrooms, We got a lot going on and we're glad that you're here to join us. We really want to thank
Our patrons, thank you so much. Thank you. We wouldn't be doing this without you guys. Some of you guys are here watching
Yeah,
backstage.
some guys
this chaos
are part
right
of the
now.
chaos right
They've
now.
been part of this front row seats for them to see all this. They won't see all the edited parts. That Jesse's gonna make this look nice and
Yeah.
packaged up.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
won't know the chaos.
But hey, you patrons know who you are. Yanni,
Destiny,
Lauren,
Christy,
Denise,
Peaches,
Meredith,
Natalie,
Angelina,
Jenny,
Catherine,
Jesse,
Diane,
Gabby,
Leslie,
and Stephanie. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Please check out our website, share our content, and come back next week because we'll have a whole new episode, an interview episode for you guys.
Back. Subscribe, rate, review, and share our content. PodSmokingMoms.com.
Bye.
We should go straight to the end of the show. It's time to put the drugs away. We've reached the end of the show.